Twisted branches clawed at the sky. A dense fog clung to the forest floor, swirling with the scent of damp earth and decay. Moonlight, fractured and weak, illuminated a clearing. There, a cauldron bubbled over a crackling fire, casting eerie shadows that danced to the rhythm of a chanted spell. 7 figures cloaked in black surrounded the cauldron. Their voices, harsh and guttural, rose and fell in unison. Their faces, obscured by deep hoods, were nothing more than shadows within shadows. One figure, taller than the rest, stirred the bubbling brew with a gnarled staff. The air crackled with energy. A green mist rose from the cauldron, twisting and writhing like a living thing. A low hum vibrated through the clearing, emanating from the cauldron, from the figures, from the very earth itself. Something was about to happen. Hidden amongst the trees, a girl watched with wide, terrified eyes. She had stumbled upon the clearing by accident, drawn by the flickering firelight. Now, fear rooted her to the spot, her breath catching in her throat. She dared not move, dared not even breathe too loudly. She knew about witches, about their dark magic and their cruelty. Her grandmother had told her stories, whispered warnings about the dangers lurking in the woods. But nothing had prepared her for this, for the raw power that seemed to emanate from the chanting figures. The girl's heart pounded against her ribs. She wanted to run, to flee back through the trees and never look back. But her legs felt like lead, her body paralyzed by fear. She could only watch, her eyes glued to the scene unfolding before her. A blinding flash of light split the sky. Thunder, instantaneous and deafening, shook the very foundations of the forest. The girl flinched, burying her face in her hands. When she looked up, her breath caught in her throat. Lightning, a jagged bolt of raw power, had struck the cauldron. The fire exploded outwards, sending sparks and embers raining down on the clearing. The chanting figures cried out in alarm, their voices a mixture of surprise and anger. The cauldron itself glowed an eerie green, the mist above it swirling violently. Then, with a sound like tearing cloth, a figure emerged from the mist. It was tall and skeletal, with glowing red eyes and long, sharp claws. It turned its gaze on the girl, and a cold dread gripped her heart. The creature lunged towards her, a high-pitched screech tearing from its throat. Terror lent speed to the girl's legs. She turned and ran, crashing through the undergrowth, her lungs burning with exertion. Behind her, she could hear the creature's enraged screams, closer now, and the pounding of its feet on the forest floor. She didn't dare look back. Thorns tore at her clothes, branches whipped at her face, but she didn't slow down. Her only thought was to escape, to get away from that monstrous creature and the terrifying witches. The forest seemed to stretch on forever, the trees a dizzying blur. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and something else, something metallic and cloying. Fear, primal and overwhelming, threatened to consume her. The girl woke with a gasp, her heart pounding in her chest. Sunlight streamed through her bedroom window, painting warm stripes across her bed. For a moment she lay there, disoriented, the remnants of the nightmare clinging to her like cobwebs. Gradually, the familiar surroundings of her bedroom came into focus. The posters on her walls, the overflowing bookshelf in the corner, the fluffy rug beneath her feet. It had all been a dream, a horrible, vivid dream. She sat up, pushing the hair back from her face. Her skin felt clammy, her breath still coming in short, shallow gasps. But the fear was receding, replaced by a wave of relief so profound it left her weak. She got out of bed and went through her usual morning routine. She brushed her teeth, wincing at the lingering metallic taste in her mouth. She changed into her school uniform, the fabric feeling reassuringly normal against her skin. As she ate her breakfast, she found herself replaying the events of the dream in her mind. The chanting witches, the lightning strike, the terrifying creature, the desperate chase through the dark forest. It all felt so real, so vivid. She finished her breakfast and grabbed her backpack, trying to shake off the lingering unease. It was just a dream, she told herself, just a silly nightmare. And yet, as she walked out the door and into the bright sunshine, she couldn't help but glance back at the tree line at the edge of her yard, half expecting to see a wisp of green mist or a flash of glowing red eyes.